Hi, welcome to stream number 5 of Writertown Junction. How is everyone doing? Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a fantasy writer who sometimes makes videos, and this is my co-host Hudson.
Hi. Sorry, I just realized I have headphones in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, cool. Hi, guys.
Awesome. Well, if you're just dropping in and you haven't been following along, Writertown Junction is a writing retreat that takes place in a fictional town. Imagine that we are all writing together and working together in a town out west, established in 1883, I think, by a bunch of passionate readers and writers. So it's a town built just for us. And our stream is taking place in the gardens. So tonight's stream is going to be nature themed, and I'm wearing my flower shirt. And yeah, we will celebrate spring together.
Beautiful.
How are you, Hudson? What's new with you?
I am good. We had a very random gray week here, and yesterday was the first sunny day again. So there have been a lot of IRL garden time.
Yeah? What are you planting in your garden?
Oh, nothing. I've just been in the garden.
Just outside.
Yeah, just outside. I mean, whenever we have a vegetable that's going bad, we do just throw it in the garden just to see what happens. But I don't really count that as gardening.
Just eating vegetables into the dirt to see what happens.
Yeah, currently it's tomatoes and peanuts. So it's either composting or it's growing a plant. We're gonna find out.
Both are great. Both are great.
There we go.
We'll say hi to everybody that's here. Hi, Michael, our founder. Hello, Mars. And James. And Cool Gamer. And Nicole. And Leia. Oh my gosh, so many people. Angelica. Oh, StreamYard jumped already. Christian. Hi, Nia and Portia. Hi, guys. Honestly, a town full of writers just sounds like a dream come true. I know. Oh, and the story I'm working on today takes place in the 1880s. That's awesome. Is this your serial, Mars? Because mine is also in the 1880s, so we can be twins once again. Yes, getting the vitamin D. Hi, Green Ruled. And hi, Lee. All right. Do we want to say a bit about what we are working on today? Don't have to get into detail.
Okay. I'm going to be writing. How about you?
Awesome. I am going to be editing a vlog, actually. Because I just finished my draft on Thursday, a couple of days ago. So she's done. Woo! So I'm actually not writing tonight. I'm taking a little bit of a brain break. I'm going to switch and edit this vlog that I haven't even started.
How does it feel to not be writing because you finished?
Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I was really beating myself up a little bit there at the end for taking so long. But I watched a really great video by Shaylin Wrights, I believe, where they were talking about they were also finishing a book and not the feeling of not wanting to write the end and having just a few scenes left, but for some reason procrastinating it. And for some reason that was me. I really had just 2 doggone scenes left and I just was putting it off and putting it off. So it's behind me.
Yeah. And you did it. So that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Is that it's finished, no matter how long it takes.
Yes, and I went ahead and the very next day I formatted my print copy from Lulu, so that is processing, and I might hopefully get it next week if they're speedy. Then I can scribble all over it, and I'm really excited.
That's so exciting.
Yay! Let's see. Mar said, no, this isn't the serial that one's modern day. Okay, this is my gay vampire story. Ooh, love it. I love it. Hi, Laura. It takes place in New Jersey in the 1880s, so it's got the backdrop of the American Industrial Revolution. Awesome. Very cool. What is this? Laura, are you staying up the entire 24 hours as well? Are you both doing an all-nighter?
Oh, wow.
Probably not, but for a majority of it. Oh my goodness. That is some dedication. And yes, we love some gay vamps. I love anything in a Victorian setting, Victorian fantasy that's mashed up.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing fantasy, I once read a fantasy book, and I can't really remember what it was called, but it was written in a way where it could have been modern day. Like,
so you like really
the
get the vibes
and the tech, but it wasn't in our world. It was a different world. And I just remember thinking, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I want the cool outfits.
Yeah.
No cell phones.
Right. Yeah. That's something I'm looking forward to doing, is going through my draft and putting all the historical vibes in, and actually having to research like what writing implement were they using in the 1880s. And I had a scene where someone came in and they like brought their own water, and I was like, did people have water bottles? Like, how do people carry water around?
Was water big then? Because I also remember it like depends where it was, because water.
Yeah, did they have like easy access?
Yeah. Or were they just drunk all the time?
Yeah. I believe they did have clean, at least in London, they had clean water piped into some houses in London at the time, because I bought a book that was like Victorian and Regency period for writers, and so it talked about, I only read the chapter about plumbing, apparently. I haven't read the rest of the book yet.
Sorry, this is kind of off topic, but there's this really good documentary from like the early aughts, and it's a series, and each episode is based on a different century, about like hidden deaths. Ooh. Like unusual ways people died because they didn't have the knowledge that we have today. And they have one for that era. So like one of them was people like arsenic in the wallpaper, because it made a vibrant green color. So like that type of hidden deaths.
That's so interesting.
That might be fun.
Do you remember what was the name of it?
I can easily pull that up during this, so
I would love to watch it.
I'll send it.
Laura's going to a movie tomorrow, so need to be awake enough for that. Yes. The research is happening after draft 1 because I don't feel like getting into it yet. Yes. Big agree. I already have background knowledge because I grew up one town over from a place that was a major player in the Industrial Revolution, so I learned about it growing up. Oh, that's very smart to set it somewhere where you have a foundation of knowledge. Because mine being in London, I'm very much on my back foot. And I'm going to rely on Malin to tell me where I have gone astray. And we have a snippet from Laura. Okay. My budding extra arms itch along my elongating torso. The small stumps are full of raw nerves as the muscles and bones shift and stretch below the skin. Reaching, extending, I'm hungry, so hungry.
Oh my God.
I would love and also am scared to know the context of these lines. Yes. Spine tingling. That is a good word for it.
That's like very good at showing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in revision mode, so whenever I see like really good showing, not telling, I'm a little bit envious.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get into our first sprint, we do have a little bit of a prompt for everyone to consider for discussion. And this one is submitted by Hudson, so take it away.
Yes. So I was going to put this on my story later this week, so I just thought I'd put it here. what it could be song, book, movie, any form of artistic medium that gives you spring vibes. What are they? Because we have tons for autumn. I feel like, and I don't mean like the word spring is in the title. I just mean it gives you spring vibes, kind of like how When Harry Met Sally
Yeah.
gives you autumnal vibes. Or
Yeah.
I think it gives New Year's Eve vibes, but I've been told wrong on that one. But Nora Ephron films give vibes of autumn. So, what are movies, books, or songs that just give you the vibe of spring? Because I feel like it's the most exciting season, like leading into that whole rebirth, and yet there's just not a lot of focus of it within it.
Yeah. Oh,
Which I
I
totally
love
get because I
that.
like depressing things. So like I'm also to blame. But
I've never thought about the fact that like there is so much media that reminds me of fall and it is very like rooted in fall as a season, but you're right, we don't have a lot of spring equivalents.
yeah.
Um, so wonderful. So everybody chew on that and we will give our answers when we get back from the sprint. Let me share my screen. I have some longer sprints pulled up for tonight if everyone
Ooh.
does not mind. Since I'm editing a vlog, the longer, chunkier sprints are going to be helpful.
Ooh. I'm
And
excited.
they're all beautiful flower themed. So obviously we don't have to use all of these, but let me go ahead and just pull up a tulip timer. And good luck, everybody. All right, that was the end of the first sprint. How did we do?
Good. How about you?
Good. It went by really fast. I just organized a bunch of my clips. So back when this vlog was first starting, we were still cat sitting. So pretty much I'm realizing the whole first half of this video. I just heard Monroe meow. It's like she heard me talking about cats.
Oh gosh. Yeah, she found the closed door. You have to ignore her because there are people who are hanging out with her.
She
She
is
just
fine.
doesn't want them. She wants whatever is behind the closed door, like any cat would.
Like any cat would.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just watched a lot of cat clips and decided which ones I probably didn't need to put in the vlog.
Oh, how cute.
Miss
That is
cat.
actually the hardest part about making a vlog is how many cat clips are too many cat clips.
Yeah, and I don't usually have a cat, so I don't usually have this problem, but now I'm realizing I have like a clip for every day of the month of this cat because I was so obsessed with this cat.
Beautiful. Yeah. My grandparents, whenever I go over to their place, I show them pictures of Monroe.
Yeah.
And Henry and I were over there last weekend, and they were like, "Do you have any photos of Henry?" And I was like, and then Henry went, "Well, I don't have any photos of her. It's just all the cat." And we just
It's
keep
just the
sending
cat.
each other.
Yeah.
We'll be right next to each other and just showing each other cat pictures. Yeah. That's all the only thing worth taking photos of.
All you need. All you need. Well, we had our question here. What book, movie, or TV show reminds you of spring? And I'd love to hear your answer.
Oh, music. Music was the main part of the question.
Oh, sorry, or music.
No, it's fine. Okay. I don't really have any to say, which is why I have the question. I mean,
Okay, that's fair enough.
I kind of do have some, but I haven't watched or listened to them in a while. I don't know why I was looking through the comments after you asked that. I just realized that you were asking.
No worries.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any off the top of my head.
I had to really think about it. I actually went through like my Goodreads and my Storygraph to see like what books I've been reading in spring the past couple years. And so I think one that I'll say is Robert Frost, being a New Hampshireite.
With a name like that, though.
But he's such a nature poet that I associate him with all the seasons, more just like seasons in general, probably. But strongly with spring because last year you and I did a poetry buddy reading project, and I read a whole book of Robert Frost last April. So I have like that time association now in my head.
Yeah. I want to say The Secret Garden, but then I'm also like,
yeah.
I feel like that also might be more autumn. Like I have a lot of associations of reading certain things in the springtime.
Yeah.
But when I read them, I felt like I was in a different season.
Yeah.
So
I always connect books to where I was and when I was when I read them. Like my other answer for this was senior year, my like last semester of college, I was working on an honors thesis on Ted Hughes and Sylvia Plath. And I defended that thesis in May. So like that whole semester was just all their work. So that is like heavy spring vibes, but also stress vibes for me.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Beatrix Potter.
Oh, love that. Yeah.
Yeah. That gives a lot of spring vibes, either the books or the TV show from the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is the only adaptation that I will accept. not to be a purist, even though I recently rewatched it, and there is a whole section where a character is using sniffing tobacco, and I'm like,
whoa.
Times have changed since the 80s for kids shows.
Whoa. We had some good answers in the chat. Mar says, I tend to go for classics, poetry, and plays for the spring vibes. Something about them just feels very fresh to me the way spring is. I totally agree with this. Also, most of the songs by 17, my favorite K-pop group, because most of the time they go for that light, upbeat sound. Love that. I'm just skipping around to everybody's answers here. Hi, Rose of Venus. I Capture the Castle and Chocolat. Both the novels and film adaptations epitomize spring for me.
They are, actually.
Yeah. I don't know these. Are they... Okay, they're both books and films.
Yes. I read I Capture the Castle in high school, so I don't fully remember what happened in the book, but I remember the vibes.
Yeah.
Of the book.
Adam said the Muppet movie and or the Great Muppet Caper. Nothing says a green season like Kermit.
Oh my gosh. I love the Muppets so much. Oof. I could talk about them forever.
And Caitlin jumped in. Hi, Caitlin, and hi, Ty. We have another snippet from Laura. Okay, we shoot espresso shots like we did liquor not a week ago. The jitters settle in, causing our hearts to palpitate.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Very good. For Leia, Enchanted April, both the movie and the book, but especially the movie.
Oh, I for a minute thought you said Enchanted, the Disney movie, and I was going to say there's a book.
I mean, with April in the title, it's got to have a spring vibe, right?
Yeah. There was a book I started, but then I never finished, but I do want to, but I can't remember what it was called. But it was a book based in the season of spring, but in Australia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was a really nice vibe, but I can't remember what it was called now.
Okay, question for us. Would it be weird to have the first few chapters take place over several years and then like 5-ish chapters in it stop skipping time and the rest takes place over a few months or so? Okay, I gotta wrap my head around this.
Okay.
So the first few chapters take place over several years, and then 5 chapters, I'm guessing in the middle, are pretty chronological, and then the rest, it starts maybe skipping again?
Are the first 5 chapters like prologue type chapters, or is it just like we are in the story, the plot, and they just happen to span years?
That's a good question. Like, are the first few chapters really actually backstory that you could weave in or flash back to?
Because if it isn't, then like whoa, sorry. I was just thinking through it. If it's like integral to the plot, then I would suggest reading Interview with the Vampire. Because that book takes place over like how many freaking centuries. And and I feel like the first 5 chapters, well, are there chapters? Who knows? I can't fully remember that part. But like the first 5 chapters take place over multiple different years.
Yeah.
If I remember it correctly.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, as long as you like have some time markers, like people can keep up, you know?
Yeah. Even though I don't think that book has time markers.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just a guy interviewing a vampire, so
yeah.
And that vampire
that makes sense.
No idea what year it is, pretty much ever.
Love that. I hope that helps, Mars. All right. Christian got 459 words for that sprint. Very good. 336 and 125.
Oh my
Chloe's the same way. She sees a closed door and says, absolutely not.
Yeah. Ugh. We don't have a single closed door in this home now.
She will rebel. Thanks, Caitlin. I flat ironed my hair today for the first time in like 2 years. Because I had to trim my bangs, and I thought this would actually be easier if my hair was straight, and then I could try and do like a little bit of a curtain bang moment. Don't look at this chunk though. This chunk, we're not talking about her. The rest turned out fine.
You were like, one, your hair looks incredible, but two, the bravery of cutting your own fringe.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Something about, well, I had like a huge chunky bang for a while in like 20, I don't know, 17 or something. And you have to get good at cutting your own bangs when you have like bangs like this, because they just grow out so fast. And then 3 weeks you're like this, and you just have to get good at it or get used to it.
Yeah, I was gonna cut some for me in autumn because I was like, that's the time, because whenever someone gets bangs, it means like they're going through something.
Something's wrong, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I just finished a bunch of surgeries. This is the perfect time because everyone just knows what's going on. But then I told myself, probably not a good idea to do it myself, the first cut. But now I feel like I've waited too long, like I'm still feeling the need. So just know if I get it, it is due to the surgeries.
It's just been a retroactive like waiting period, that's all.
Yeah, and then you have to find a good hairdresser, but the only way you know if they're good is by them cutting your hair.
Yeah.
Which is that's scary.
Pets always want the inaccessible, behind a closed door, out of reach, etc. We do agree. Mars outlined the first chapter, and I'm now contemplating timeline issues. I'm sorry, that sounds complex, but very cool from what you've described. Like the first 5-ish chapters span the childhoods of the two main characters, and then after that, it's a much shorter time period. Interesting. I think it'd be interesting to like demarcate that with a part, like a part 1, part 2. But that's very interesting. For Meg, we have some Alice in Wonderland has big spring vibes. Roses, flowers, bunnies, picnics, and everything is a little too alive.
That is true. Alice in Wonderland. Also, Alice in Wonderland had a good TV show, I think, in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah?
And by good, I mean it was weird. But when has Alice in Wonderland not been weird? I'm sure Caitlin has a lot to say on that.
Yeah. I haven't read Interview with the Vampire in like a decade. I did watch the movie literally 2 days ago.
I don't know much about the movie, but you should read it. I think that's a sign.
And there's a TV show.
There is. Oh, I do really want to watch the new TV show. I just don't have AMC, so whatever channel it's on. So I'm waiting for it to be like done before I binge.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about my crappy camera. We figured out that this laptop does not give me the delay that I've been having when I stream sometimes. So unfortunately, the lens is a little worse, but I won't be lagging. So
I can see your hair. It's not that bad, the fog.
Okay, thank goodness. Oh, good. I'm glad this helped. But hey, do whatever you want. It'll be good. All right, what say we to another sprint? Thanks everybody for your spring vibes. I do have another question for everybody since we're in the garden and we're nature themed. So we can ponder this while we do our next sprint. So I'm asking, do you write weather into your stories? What season do you picture your current whip to take place in? Or tell us, what is your favorite season to write? So
that's like such a good like question on top of the last question.
Thanks. All right. Let me get us wound back here. Let's see. What say we do another 30-minute? Since that seemed to work well for everybody. All right. Happy writing. All right, that's the end of sprint number 2. Unsure if Hudson is there. Oh, good, you are.
I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm finishing up a sentence.
No,
Hold on.
please do.
But I thought the camera was on this whole time. I forgot. Monroe kept meowing at the door, so I had to take care of that, and then I forgot to turn it back on. I'm so sorry.
No worries. No, that doesn't matter. No worries. How's your sprint other than Monroe meowing?
Good.
Good.
How about your sprint?
It was good. I really appreciate doing the long sprints. I got all my footage into the timeline. So now I have to start back at the beginning and actually edit it, but I have 45 minutes of clips, which is not bad.
No, that's like really good amount, I feel like. There's a lot you can do with it, but also the edit won't be as overwhelming.
Yes, I hope so. I got a notification that my Google storage is like 75% full. So I need to go through and delete, I think, a bunch of like vlog footage from like 2020 probably and onward.
I honestly think that might be the reason, like one of the main blockers for me not uploading a video, because no, not this one. Not this one. This one is full. This was only supposed to be for video content. And then like I have one for photos, one for writing, but because the video one's full, I've been putting it into my writing one, and I'm like, nope. I just need to go through. You don't need that much footage of leaves in the wind. You can get rid of a lot of them.
I know. I need to like delete these cat videos, but I can't. They're so good.
Yeah, you need the cat videos. That's the non-negotiable.
Well, as far as our second question about the weather, writing it into your stories, the season that you picture your current whip to take place in, or do you have a favorite season to write?
So when you first asked the question, I was like automatically autumn. That is my favorite. But then when I actually thought about all the stories I've written and like fully finished or completed, then I realized I write about summer just as much as autumn.
Do you have a feeling why?
I think because I'm from a really hot climate.
Yeah?
Where it's really only summer, except for this year. We finally had a winter. And it does kind of go back to something that I remember when I realized this about myself, I was really annoyed. But you know how like writers say how they love writing, like when it's raining and it's by a cozy fire.
Yeah.
Well, I used to live in Seattle for a few years, and I barely wrote there, and that's the land of rain and cozy vibes.
Yeah.
So I think I've just grown up so much in a very hot, dry climate that when it's super hot, the only thing I want to do is just lay down and write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be in the AC.
Yeah, but the least season, like the season I've written the least, is spring, which goes back to my spring question. But then also, I do love writing weather into my stories. I have to remind myself that the weather cannot always be what my character is feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? This is such a good question, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I had fun thinking about it. It's definitely different for different projects. Like my large fantasy book had very inconsistent weather in the zero draft. Like I think like early scenes, it was dead of winter and everyone was like freezing. And then a couple scenes later, it'd be like the middle of summer and everyone's at a packed like speech and everyone's dying in the heat. Like very inconsistent. So I didn't really decide on season until draft 3.
It is a fantasy world.
It could have happened.
Yeah, if Tatooine can have like 2 moons.
Yeah, we can have simultaneous winter and summer. But for Project Gemstone, it was immediately wintertime or tail end of fall going into wintertime. That was just the vibe I had from the setting. I think when I visited London, it was January, so in my head, it just lives in a perpetual January. So yeah, that's been nice, but I think I probably am falling into that trap of I'm just describing the weather all the time and not describing anything else about the setting.
Yeah, it does depend on the book. There are some books where I'm mainly only writing the weather and the landscape. And then there is like books where I forget it exists.
Yeah. Yeah, in the zero draft, I think it very much can slip my mind. Lee says, I incorporate weather into my stories. In my mutant series, my main characters are homeless most of the time. So weather is important to their comfortability. Yes, that's a very good point when your characters are exposed to the elements.
Mm-hmm.
A favorite is definitely autumn because I'm basic. No, it's a good answer. And I think my current whip is like a damp November cold, like an incessant almost winter that sneaks through the cracks but without fun snow. Ooh, very good. Weather is a tough one because I know it's necessary, and in the case of period pieces, it requires research. And by the time I get to it, it's the tail end of my research and I'm very tired. That's fair enough. Weather/nature in general is a big thing that I incorporate into my stories. Rivalry is in the fall and my serials in spring/summer. I'm not too sure about the gay vampire book yet. Awesome. I thought this was interesting. In screenplays, you're discouraged from specifying weather because when you shoot it, you don't get to direct the sky how to behave during shots. Which that's fair, and I bet fake rain and fake snow is very expensive to produce.
I also heard that there's a reason why in TV shows and movies they mainly have dogs for pets because you can tell a dog what to do. Some dogs, most dogs, you cannot tell a cat what to do.
No.
Which is why they don't really like filming with cats.
Makes sense. You can't tell cats or the sun what to do. I incorporate weather into my writing, but so far it doesn't depict a specific season. That's all right. One of my films this year includes a very specific outdoor scene that's set up in the dialogue, so if it goes wrong, I have to consider the possibility of changing wording in ADR. Ooh, that's a lot to consider. Is that like if it's too windy and the sound gets messed up? I have to have everyone come re-record.
Or voiceovers.
Yeah.
Oof.
Laura says, I write weather into my stories sometimes when the character goes outdoors, describing the bare trees in the snowy churchyard like skeletal hands reaching to the sky for salvation. So good. I can see that churchyard.
Okay, Laura.
I love describing the skittering of fall leaves along sidewalks, the whipping of long coats in the wind. Ooh, nice. Snowflakes catching on eyelashes, hot summer suns burning away the last of a main character's patience. Yes. As the asphalt melts around their shoes in a bank parking lot where they were just denied an extension. Wow, we just created a whole short story. I feel that main character's just exhaustion from the way that you wrote it. Michael says, I surely do. My poem is in spring, as I'm writing right now, and my favorite season to write is probably winter. My favorite season, period. Oh, interesting.
Wait, will your poem take place over every season? Because you said spring right now.
Mm.
Or is it just based in spring?
And I know this is...
I was going to say, I know it's an epic.
Yeah, exactly. So are you doing a whole, cycle of the year?
Oh my gosh. Incredible. I mean, I don't know what the answer is yet, but incredible.
It's the interaction of what the weather causes with the main character I love to explore. Can they smell the coming of rain across the moor when the banshee screams? Does the icy rain make them numb? Yes.
Gosh, Laura.
How does that change what your main character experiences? That's a very good point.
You just put these in the comments. No big deal. Okay.
Yes, hella stoked because this new project takes place in a polar desert. Wow. That sounds really challenging, actually. Like I would be very intimidated because it's just I'm just picturing like a white expanse. And you have to find new ways to describe what they're seeing, and maybe it's all very empty.
There is a movie that it's not a polar desert, but oh wait, never mind. That's a spoiler for the movie. I can't say it.
Oh, something gets turned into a polar desert that maybe shouldn't.
Oh, no. It has to do with the polar desert. Just the vastness feeling of emptiness. And whenever I feel that, I think of that movie. But that might be a spoiler for the movie. Even though it came out in the 90s, I'm pretty sure. So
that's a really cool environment to choose. Very creative and different. As far as our sprint went, Adam took a break from document updates, went out for some fresh air, and ate some cheese. Very good. Mars outlined the next 3 chapters and got a bit of B-roll for my vlog. Yay. Nia, I love autumn. It's my favorite season to write. My current novel goes from the end of summer to Christmas, so it has all the fall vibes. I love that. I think fall is still my favorite season to write as well, because I still have like the academic lean to my brain, I think.
Yeah, I think I always loved autumn because we didn't have autumn here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I'd say my late 20s where now I'm like, oh, I think spring might be my favorite. Now that like my bones and joints can feel the cold,
Yeah.
like there's something so magical about the spring sun.
Yeah.
And like it's the best sun. It's better than summer sun because summer brings a whole other issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but spring just feels sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it totally depends on where you're from, for sure. Like mine growing up was always summer because New England, we have such short summers and it feels so fleeting. And even when you do have a nice day, there's that sadness in the back of your mind because you know it's one of a couple that you're going to get. But now I live in the South and summer is hot and many months. And it's no longer my favorite.
Would you say that you've just switched where like winter has become
it's definitely spring. It's definitely spring because the spring is more like more New Englandy, you know, it's just fresh. It's 70 degrees and it's warm, but it's not oppressive.
Yeah.
Idea, make a second Google for archive footage. Yes. And I do have so many Google accounts. I should totally be able to do this. I have like 4 Google accounts.
Yeah, that's actually really smart because that is another good place to store footage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with Caitlin here. Edit the footage. We need more Hudson content.
We'll get there.
We need to save our footage based on a scale of 1 to Kitty.
I do have a folder that is just called Monroe, and then in the folder I have like different years and then the different months within the year. Like it's just folders within folders of organized cat content.
You can make a Monroe calendar.
Oh my gosh, I could, but I'm pretty sure that if someone who didn't know this cat found this, they'd be like, this is the same photo a bajillion times.
I've written, sorry, my brain is glitching out. I've written enough Les Mis fanfic that spring is the most sad season for my writing. LOL, it's getting close to June. It's almost time.
Oh gosh, I'm about to out myself here with Blame is Rob, but is it based in the spring?
I was trying to remember. I don't recall either what season it is.
I've seen a high school production and the film. So really nothing good enough to let me understand what I was watching, to help me understand what I was watching.
For JK, it often determines what my characters will do for the day or how their mood will go for the rest of the chapter. Yeah, you guys are all doing a good job of reminding me that the weather should influence my character and should not just be a two-line setting description.
Yeah, but then comes the opposite where like or I have to where you have to start telling yourself like, okay, just because your character's sad doesn't mean it should start raining.
Yeah. Yeah. How about like Laura said, how about a sad character has to go to the bank and it's freaking hot out and that sucks.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being sad in humid heat. I think that might be the worst.
Yeah.
I hate humidity.
Oh,
I feel for anyone.
we have our Les Mis answer. It's about the June rebellion. So spring
Right, because
are all going to die soon.
Oh my gosh, it's right because it's about the French Revolution.
Ah.
Never mind. Oh, that was dumb.
No, not at all. Laura, I've added lots of CG snow and rain to movies for my job fun times. Also add atmospheric fog. I should put more fog in my book.
Fog, mist, haze.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fave.
Mist. Hi, Eva. Was here in spirit while I finished the final few revisions, just the word and Grammarly checks before alphas get this draft. Wow, that's a big milestone.
That is, wow. I feel like a lot of people are like finishing drafts this month, like regardless of like which draft number they're in.
Yeah. I think we're finally getting out of our spring slump a little bit, or at least I am. I hope. Let me see. Skipping around a little bit. Laura is the description queen. Yes, she is. Okay, the epic poem Michael is writing, I think it'll probably end in the late spring or the summertime. Summer sometime.
Does it start in spring?
I think he said it was in winter, so it'll go from winter through summer, so no fall.
Good. It's overwritten, as we've learned today. Cut it out.
Skip the fall. Oh, here's something for the polar desert. Blood splattered in the white expanse.
Oh my gosh.
What a contrast that would be.
I can see it.
In the story I just proofread, there's a rainy spring dusk scene in a graveyard. I can feel that mist, that spooky mist. In the next one, there's a summer festival, so weather exists, but I'm not sure how well. As the writer, maybe they could just make it a spring festival. That would still be really cute. There's also a magical courtyard in the castle that's actually going to have seasons, but the characters have to be invited to it. Wow. So it's like an oasis in the middle of the polar desert where you can go and experience sunshine.
Oh. Like a magical greenhouse. I mean, that's what you just said. Sorry. I'm just trying to imagine Caitlin's world.
Right now. No, I think that's a good way to put it. I lit a lot of CG zombie dogs for one of the Resident Evil movies. Oh my gosh, that must have been fun. Eva, I used to love fall the best, but now early spring is my favorite. Yeah, me too. Oh, good point though. I love fall, but spring is really nice too, minus the allergies. Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of health problems, as we're all probably aware. Seasonal allergies is not one of them.
Oh,
I just have lifelong allergies, but none of them have to do with the flowers and the pollen.
And the sinuses and the like cement head.
No, like there's certain grass that if I lay on, I'll get a rash. Mm-hmm. So I have to have a picnic blanket, but that's just aesthetic, you know, like that's just setting a vibe.
My favorite season is the transition between summer and autumn. It's got the best weather in my East Coast opinion, and it's also when my birthday is.
I do feel like that is true for the East Coast or the Pacific Northwest. In like the Southwest region, it's just fire season. So
yeah. There's more storms too, which I enjoy. There's one now, in fact. Yeah. Yeah, we're heading into thunderstorm season, which I am excited about. So I'll hit different near an ocean. I both do and don't envy New Englanders. Yeah.
Oh. When is storm season? Is it that time?
I'm just thinking, well, yeah, in New England, it's just, hot summer storms, but it seems like down here in Atlanta, the tornado season starts so early. Like we're already kind of in tornado season, which is like thunderstorm season and all that. But
that just sounds terrifying to me.
yeah, we did not have tornadoes in New Hampshire, and that was nice. Amazon Prime also comes with video storage, just so everyone knows if you have it.
Oh. Wow.
Sorry, my StreamYard is freezing a little bit here. Where I'm from, it gets to about mid-autumn. You can feel winter coming in your bones. Yeah. Canadian, yeah. Mr. Michael, also, I totally agree. Let's see. Technically, Les Mis isn't the French Revolution that everyone thinks of when you hear the term. It's like 50-ish years later. I had a big love for Les Mis as a kid. Oh, I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah. Because all I think of when I hear of Les Miserables is Russell Crowe. I'm going to be honest with everyone. It's still very traumatizing.
Yeah. I just think of Anne Hathaway.
I wish my brain remembered, the better parts.
I need to make a winter date night for my own gay vamps. Ooh, I love it.
Oh.
In my story, Tentacles and Boomboxes, snow falls over a murder scene, so when the main character steps in the snow, her footprints turn red, revealing the gore beneath. Very good.
Yes. Yes.
All this talk of weather reminds me that I should, or at least make sure the love interest feels the cold when he celebrates his birthday because he goes outside. Yeah, it's a really good way to mark time, for sure. We have a Diane! Hi, Diane!
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Yeah. I hope she's still here.
I hope so, too. I'm sorry it's taking me a really long time to get through the comments. It's okay. We sprinted for an hour total. So
we did
really well.
I'm surprised by how much time has passed because I really feel like we started like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I really appreciate everyone being down for the long sprints because that was very helpful for me to try this new method of just dumping everything into the timeline first and then going through it, because I used to kind of just do that in spurts, and I think it slowed me down a lot.
Yeah, you got to find your system, whatever the word is. My brain blanked, but,
Yeah, 3 years in, I'm still trying to figure out how I like to edit.
I've forgotten, so just know you can have a great system, because before when I used to post all the time, I had an incredible system. Now, I don't know what it is.
Well, I hope you figure it out because I want to watch a new Hudson vlog. Well, with that, we are pretty much almost to the hour. So I may give everyone a couple of minutes just to take a break before the next stream, get a snack. If you're staying up late or if you're in a different time zone, stretch, get a little bit of movement in. Oh, Diana's still here. Exhausted from work, but so happy to see you guys. Oh, sorry that our sprint is almost over, but thanks for popping in.
Yeah, there are, I think, how many more are left?
We are going all the way through midday tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
So I think, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, but streams are going overnight. Um, so if you have more writing in you, please, check out the playlist. We're halfway through Camp Nano and have about 5K left until I hit my goal of 30K. Holy moly.
Oh,
I'm in
wow.
awe.
That and if you were to keep going on this like on this path, you would reach 60K, which is more than the nano goal.
Dude, impressive, impressive. Um, all right, well, do you want to give a little outro?
Yes. Hello. My name is Hudson, and I will one day post. I mean, maybe that's what I'll do throughout the rest of the weekend. I'll go through the hard drives, and at some point this week, I'm going to be asking that spring question again on my Instagram stories,
Yeah.
because I every year I tell myself I'm going to make a playlist for spring, summer, fall, winter, and it's like I just gotta I have to get the ball rolling. I need inspo.
Hmm. I
Anyways,
love it.
that's my outro, Anna. Anna.
Awesome. Well, bye everyone. If you didn't know, my name is Anna Robbins. I'm a fantasy writer who sometimes makes videos, very sometimes. But
Hey, in the room the most times right now.
consistently sometimes, sometimes consistently. But thanks everyone so much for coming to write with us and hang out with us. And I hope everyone has a wonderful night.